Today, we're unboxing and testing our brand new SOVOL SV08 MAX. Let's see how it goes, and I'll give you a hint. The benchies are a little bit bigger. Let's not waste any time and let's get right into the unboxing process. It's packaged pretty well and pretty impressive that this massive machine is in one box with multiple pre-assembled large components. That makes this assembly process way easier than a lot of other machines where you have the pre-assembled base, the 4 posts that go around the machine, and the top chassis that ties it all together. Then you can see some of the other components and pre-packaged fasteners that make this a lot easier. It would have been quicker if I actually read the instructions, but each fastener bag is labeled by these steps, which makes it a lot easier going together. Then just grab an Allen key, and I think you'll be impressed with how quickly this thing starts to look like a 3D printer. Next, we have the pre-assembled gantry for the X and Y motion of the printer, where it's pre-assembled with the linear rails, the cable chain, all the belts. So all you have to do is put in 8 fasteners, if I recall, which are a little bit tight, but with the right tools, it goes together pretty easily. For example, the flexible driver extension makes simple work of all these little tight corners. Now, I thought I was being slick showing you guys the extended ball end Allen that's on this little ratchet, but if you actually look in the box, they come with ball end drivers that you could also use, so you don't need all the fancy tools. What it comes with makes the job pretty easy as well. Now, the tool head comes pre-assembled, but you're going to have to pop that top cover off just so you could get to the 2 fasteners that actually bolt it to the linear rail. Now you grab the injection molded Bowden tube brackets and they just snap right into place. I'm a pretty big fan of this design. It went together very simply and has a pretty nice filament path, so hopefully that prevents jams in the future, but we'll see how the reliability of the machine is when we get more hours on it. Now you just tighten those 2 bolts down, and then you're able to throw the cover back on after you plug in the fan. I do like how the cover is designed, where it's pretty simple to pull off and you get access to all the wiring and components relatively easily, which seems pretty standard on a lot of new machines, but the older ones, not as much. Now we jump into installing the touchscreen, which was pretty straightforward. You just plug it in and it snaps right into place on the base of the chassis. Then on the underside, there's a couple of pre-wired plugs. All you gotta do is plug them into all 4 motors. Right here I'm showing you the 2 front ones, but it's also the same on the back side. Then we come back on top and just put in the Bowden tube. Pull out that lock, slip the tube in place, and put the lock back in, just like any other 3D printer. Then on the back side, there's another cable chain where you just need to put 2 bolts in through the chassis, and then this loom of wiring, and you just plug everything in. Then there's just 2 more plugs on the front right hand corner of the machine, and just plug them in, and then you're ready to do the corner brackets to finish up the chassis assembly on this machine. There's just 2 bolts that go into the base of the chassis, and then a couple small screws that go into the side frame. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and a nice touch to add a little bit of rigidity to this machine. In the future, we definitely want to get the enclosure and the heat element for the chamber, but for now we just wanted to test it open without buying every bell and whistle for the machine. So as long as it passes our tests, we're going to get that enclosure and everything and test out some higher end materials. Then they have this motor driven filament feeder, whatever they want to call that. I've heard a lot of issues about it, but we'll see how it goes. Then there's another bracket on top for the Bowden tube. It just screws into place, and then there's this coupler that snaps in. Overall, I'm a pretty big fan of the design, but don't be like me and install it backwards. You'll see there's way too much Bowden tube on this side, and right about now, you see I flip it over, and it fits much nicer. Then up top, you just plug in the wiring for the LED light, which is a nice touch. And then it's time to power this machine on. Of course, we're going to select English to get this bad boy set up. And then I set it up on Wi-Fi and made a static IP address so it's easy to connect to in the future. And then the printer just does its initial setup and calibrations. Well, I shouldn't really say calibrations, but just homes itself and levels the bed and makes sure everything is functioning properly. And this step went pretty easily. It just heated up, checked all 4 corners, and then you'll see the eddy current sensor just scans the whole bed. And that's pretty nice because instead of having a physical touch probe, you have this sensor that's taking a very quick mesh of the entire bed. I've never used one. In theory, they seem great. I'm pretty excited to test it out though. Then from here, I'm just messing around with the screen a little bit, seeing what all the options are. And in reality, it's just a pretty basic clipper interface like any other printer. It's very similar to our K2 Pluses. I haven't really used Bamboo. I don't know if they're similar or not. You guys could let us know in the comments down below, but it's pretty standard. Here I was just turning the LED light on and off. You could also power on the fans. Again, pretty basic interface, but it does the job. Assembly is complete, and we did a couple of initial calibrations on this machine. I think it's time we throw a little bit of plastic in it and see how it prints. Now we have the printer on the ground, and we'll do our test printing here. And let's just ignore how janky it's wired, but it's only going to be for a quick PLA print while we're waiting for the UPS to come in. Right now we're just applying a quick coat of Demafix. It's our favorite build plate adhesion, and it's pretty quick to apply, just like a much easier version of a glue stick in our opinion. And at least for PLA, all you gotta do is a quick cross hatch pattern in one direction and then the other direction. For higher grade materials, so you can get a little more stick, you could do a couple coats, but for now we're just gonna do a quick 2 coats. The cool part about Demafix is it's not sticky to the touch at room temperature, but once it gets hot, it gets really sticky, really tacky, and just holds those parts onto the plate like you wouldn't believe. Now we gotta get a little bit of filament in this thing, and if there's anything I've heard people complain about, it's this guy right here. Apparently, it could be a little bit finicky, and I don't really know how to use it. I think you just press this button. There you go. And we'll see. Let's see if it's just as bad as everyone says or if it actually works. Now it's stopped, so let's figure out what we gotta do to get it all the way. And I should probably heat up the extruder about now. So it's giving us some instructions now. I see. So if you just keep pressing this button, it'll keep trying. There we go. Now it's really extruding. Now that we have the ultra-sized 300% scaled up benchy all done, let's see how it looks. In my opinion, it printed pretty great. There's definitely a little bit of a line here. I'm not too sure what that might be. Maybe a little bit of cooling, but we'll see. These are 100% default settings, where all I did was take the 0.2 profile. It was the only profile on the printer from what I could see, and hit print. So considering there's literally 0 tuning, 0 settings changed, I think this came out fantastic. There's definitely gonna be room to improve. We're gonna have to do some tuning on other profiles, but that's gonna take a lot more time. I just wanted to throw a slightly bigger part at it, see how it came out, and I'd call this a win. All right, guys, that wraps up this YouTube video. The SOVOL was a pretty big success, just from unboxing to the initial test print of the 2 benchies, from the normal size to the scaled up one. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but it's not ready for our print farm yet. we still have a ton of tuning, a lot of materials to run through it, and see how that goes. So I'd call this just your initial unboxing video, first impressions, and to me they were pretty good. But we'll do a follow-up video where we have some actual hours, actual production parts on the machine, and we'll update you guys and let you know how it goes. So until then, get on our Discord, ask us any questions there. You know where to find us, and we'll see you in the next one.